guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a complete declutter and organization of my toddler's room and closet. If you're new to my channel, I'm Nicole from Organized Chaos Blog. I make videos related to planning, productivity, and organization, and I'm so glad to have you here. So before I began, I wanted to give you a quick overview of what the room looked like prior to my cleaning and organizing. It had gotten to be very out of control. After the holidays, we didn't do any organization in here. As you can see, the Christmas tree in his room was still up because he refused to let me take it down. So that definitely was one thing that had to be taken down. We also needed to organize the bookshelf and just make his little reading corner look a little bit more put together and clean up around his bed. Now for the area that I am almost too embarrassed to show you, his closet. We moved Grayson into this room back in July, and I never put together a good organization system, so the clutter and the clothes have just been accumulating and piling up, and it is a complete disaster. This closet is also where we store lots of extra stuff like Christmas decorations and old toys and board games that my stepson used as a child that we don't want to get rid of because we know Grayson and Audrey will use them. However, I needed to find a better place to store some of these things so that Grayson's closet could be used for just his clothes. I'm starting out with the closet, and I'm going to take everything out except the hanging clothes. This is one way I like to do all of my organizing because it lets me start with a clean slate to work with. One of my big goals for 2021 is to get every room in our house organized and decluttered. And so for January, the project was Grayson's room, which is what I'm tackling in today's video. Also, since I am currently 4 months pregnant, I had to get my husband to help with the lifting of all of the heavy boxes, and we decided to go ahead and move all of the red Christmas bins to the storage unit just to free up some extra space. As you can see, everything that I took out of his closet is now in the living room, and the reason I did this is because I wanted to use the time when the kids were napping to go through and declutter and organize all of his clothes. So I took these 4 bins that I had on hand and I used them just to sort through clothes. I put pull-ups and underwear in one, shoes and hats in another, t-shirts, and then shorts. In my opinion, one of the hardest things when it comes to kids' clothing is trying to figure out which things will still fit because the brands all tend to run differently when it comes to sizing. So going through, I just kind of had to eyeball what I thought would still fit going into spring and which clothes needed to be packed up for the next baby in case it is a boy as well. Keeping the clothes that I think will fit is so much easier to me than trying to chase around a 3-year-old and have him try clothes on to see if they actually do fit. Then I just keep a bin in his closet for clothes that are too small, and as I try things on throughout the season, if they no longer fit, I just toss them into the bin and I make a note that I need to get more of whatever that item is. After I decided which clothing items I wanted to keep for the remainder of winter and then also going into spring and summer, I went through and I put them into this fun organizer from Delta Children. Grayson is Paw Patrol obsessed, so I knew this organizer would be perfect to put in his closet. I love it because it has 6 separate compartments, and we're actually really working with him to try to teach him how to put clothes away on his own, and having each item in a specific spot makes it so much easier for him. Next, I went through these clear plastic bins that had been in his closet since before we moved him into this room. Like I said earlier, my stepson, who is 14, had lots of toys and DVDs and things like that we wanted to keep because we know Grayson and Audrey will eventually use them. However, it's not things that they're able to use now. So I went through and kind of stored things away that they will use in the future, and then decluttered a few of the board games that we had duplicates of or that parts were missing. And then as far as the DVDs, I went through and put them all into a small case that I could keep in my car for long road trips because I do have a DVD player in the car. Once Grayson was up from his nap, it was time for me to go in and give the closet a good vacuum. And then I wiped down the top shelf, made sure everything was nice and clean before I started adding items back into the closet. I then went in and organized all of his hanging clothes. I tried to do my best to categorize them by color and then also the type of shirt it was. So polos together, all of his LSU clothes together, long sleeve t-shirts together, some of his nicer outfits that he wears to church, and then all of his sweaters and winter clothes, which we will be able to be getting rid of and packing up in the next month or so. I also cleaned out anything that I knew would no longer fit him, as well as any holiday things from Christmas that I hadn't packed away yet. Next, I went through and I reorganized all of his shoes. I love using these clear over-the-door organizers while his feet are still small enough to where his shoes actually fit into them. I feel like it saves so much room. So I put all of the shoes he doesn't really wear on a daily basis in there, and then I put his school shoes that he wears every single day in an area that is easier for him to access, so he can be responsible for getting his own shoes every morning and putting them up every afternoon. On the left door, I also have another one of these clear organizers, and this is where we like to keep all of his pajamas. And then finally, I got one of these tiered organizers to try out. I'm going to use this to put his school clothes throughout the week so he can be responsible for getting his own outfit each morning. Next, it was time to take down the Christmas tree, which Grayson was very sad to see go, but it was about time. After I got the Christmas tree taken down, it was time to tackle some of the toys in this bin. This is from Target, and I absolutely love it because it makes it so easy for Grayson to put away his own toys. It had been a while since I had gone through and done a declutter of the kids' toys, and especially since they just had Christmas and got a bunch of new things, I wanted to go through and make a few separate piles. So I did some for giveaway, I did some that needed to be packed up for the new baby coming in July, and then I made a separate pile for some of the toys that needed to be moved to Audrey's room or the living room where we keep some more generic toys. After I sorted through all of the toys, I decided to try to organize them as best I could by category, although I know good and well it probably will not stay this organized for long. I also went ahead and wiped down and disinfected all of the furniture in his room while I was cleaning. Let me know in the comments below how you go about organizing all of the small pieces that go with individual toy sets. Next, I moved on to the bookshelf. I didn't do much here except kind of put books back in their spot and organize them a little bit neater. My kids are constantly pulling books off of this shelf, so it does not really stay organized, and I'm okay with that. At the very top, we do have 2 rows of books that are from my stepson that the kids don't currently use, but I know they will use in the future. Then I went ahead and just tidied up around this little reading nook and his nightstand. This area is still a work in progress in his room. I want to get some kind of little tent or something for the walls just to make this area a little bit more inviting. So if you have any suggestions of what I could put in this corner, let me know in the comments below. One question I get asked a lot is how do I get things done, especially when it comes to cleaning and organizing with 2 young toddlers around. And as you can see in the video, I just kind of work around them. They play at my feet. It may take a little bit longer, but it is the only way to get things done sometimes.
Oh, you're trying to say ah. Ah. It's not red.
It's red.
Yeah, you're saying your ear.
Alright, so here is a quick before picture just to remind you what this room looked like before I got in and did some decluttering and organizing. And here are all the toys that I decluttered from his room, which are either going to go into storage for the next few months or be given away. And here is the final product. I put all of his trucks on top of his storage bin, and then like I said, I organized his toys and categorized them as best I could, which will stay like that for probably a day or 2 before they destroy it. I do want to put a little TV up there, but we haven't gotten there yet. The bookshelf is organized and in order for right now, and the book nook is still a work in progress. And now for the best part of the whole entire room. I am so happy with how this turned out. It looks so much nicer, and now everything has a place and can stay organized and neat. So like I said before, on each of the doors I have these clear plastic organizers. That one holds pajamas. I put his shoes that he wears on a daily basis at the top of this plastic bin. That way he can get them every day when it's time for school. I have all of his long pants in the top drawer, some camouflage clothes and his soccer gear, and then the bottom drawer just has extra bedding for when we change his sheets. This bin in the middle for Doubt's children has his undies, nighttime pull-up socks, t-shirts and shorts, so he can easily access them and also help us start to learn how to put away his own clothes. Then his hanging clothes all got categorized, and in this hanging organizer I put hats at the top, and like I said, I'm going to use it to organize his school clothes for the week. Finally, I have these 2 bins. One has extra hangers and the other one will be for clothes that are too small. The 2 extra storage plastic bins are just for board games, and seasonal toys that we don't need to access on a daily basis. I hope you enjoyed watching me clean and organize Grayson's room. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks so much for watching.